Welcome back to the news at 10. The multinational joint task force now boasts of 10,000 troops from 4 member countries fighting counterinsurgency in the Lake Chad area. That's according to the task force commander, Major General Lamidi Adeosun, who says the collaboration is already yielding positive results. The task force consists of Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad and Niger as components of trans-border operations. The MNJTF commander is in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, as part of his assessment tour of the various areas. Now, the IGP Special Task Force on Cattle Rustling has arrested 22 suspected cattle rustlers and recovered over 300 cattle in Zamfara State, northwest Nigeria. While receiving the cattle, Governor Abdulaziz Yari says he's already established a committee for cattle rustling, which will immediately commence verification of the owners.
Freedom is bliss, and these 310 cows, 105 sheep, and 22 donkeys are experiencing that joy. They have just been rescued from cattle rustlers in Zamfara State, northwest Nigeria. Paraded are the 22 suspects along with their weapons: 3 AK-47 rifles, 1 pump action, 1 locally made revolver, 91 live ammunition, 11 cartridges, and 12 motorcycles which they use for transportation. Receiving the cattle is the Zamfara State Governor, who along with the Commissioner of Police says enough is enough.
These people that are doing this act, they're the enemy of the society, and the government will never fold their arms looking at this menace to continue in the state. It's part of a promise that immediately you have the new administration in place, this kind of mess will be a history. So they shouldn't take us for granted that government is folding its arm. We are going to pursue them seriously. We must have a relative peace in the country and in the state and in the region.
Definitely, this is a warning signal for them. That Zamfara State is not a place for them to stay. They either forsake their arm or they leave the Zamfara State. We also be continue arresting them and prosecute them according to the law.
Cattle rustling is an activity that has continuously plagued the nation. An arrest such as this is a sign that the days for this nefarious act are numbered.
And the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has appealed to the Senate President to take steps towards making provision for the interests of the youths in the country. The paramount ruler made this appeal during a meeting with Dr. Bukola Saraki in Abuja. The monarch says it's time for leaders at all levels to rekindle the hope of the youths in the country.
I always preach positivity in everything that I do. I should focus on the good sides of things in life, irrespective of any situation you find yourself. It is one nation, it is one Nigeria, irrespective of you from the north or from the south. Our peaceful coexistence is of paramount to us, and youth empowerment. I'm here today speaking on behalf of the entire youth of the country and for us to join hands together in order to make progress in this country. I am very grateful to you today for accepting and honoring us this evening. God will bless you. Please keep making us proud. Things that are supposed to be done appropriately in terms of making provision and guarding interest of the youth. Please work towards that.
To youths who are unhappy, and that's Ndokwa youths in Delta State, they've laid siege at the gates of Sterling Global, an oil firm located in Ndokwa West local government area of Delta State. Hundreds of the protesters blame the company for allegedly refusing to contribute to the development of the area.
Youths from Ndokwa in Delta State protesting on the streets of Asaba. Their grouse, a neglect of their community by Sterling Global, an oil company operating there. They say the company has failed to relocate its headquarters from Lagos to Delta State, where it operates, depriving them of great opportunities.
They pay their tax to Lagos State government. They don't pay their tax to Delta State. So we are agitating that they should come and pay their tax in Delta State because they are residing in Delta State. They are mining their oil in Delta State.
Federal government have given order to all oil companies operating here in Nigeria to relocate their head office to their state of operation. And these particular oil companies operating within here, Ndukwa Nation, refuse to take that order being given by the federal government of Nigeria.
In the heart of the protest, leaders of the group were invited to a closed-door meeting with the management of the company. It soon came to a brisk end. Responding to the allegations made by the youths, the community representatives Emekaro Nwachukwu says that both parties resolved to meet with the state government for further discussions on the matter.
As one, we have discussed and looked at their grievances and decided that because they said this is not purely our matter here, that they need us to discuss this with the state government. So we agree that we are going to write the state government to invite us in the next 2 weeks.
For now, the youth will have to await the results from the next line of action when the state government wades into the problem.
Now, properties said to be worth millions of naira have been destroyed following an early morning fire at the popular Singa market in Kano, northwest Nigeria. Although no life was lost, eyewitnesses told Channels Television that the fire started from a local tea seller and later spread to other parts of the market. It took the State Fire Service and other emergency rescue authorities 4 hours to put out the fire. Kano State has recorded a number of fire incidents in recent times. Let's take a look at some business news for the day. Here's Adeshawa Josh.
Good evening. Welcome to Business News. The Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama, says government is committed to implementing growth-driven policies for businesses across the country. Dr. Enelama was speaking during the quarterly business luncheon of the Institute of Directors in Lagos. The meeting had mainly business leaders from the private sector.
Captains of industries have gathered here at the first edition of the Institute of Directors Quarterly Luncheon for the year. The Institute's first Vice President, Mr. Ahmed Mohammed, says the meeting aims to examine the possibility of an economy without dependency on crude oil.
It's a known fact, however, across the globe, that for a country to obtain growth and development, its economy has to be diversified. Our money economy, therefore, needs to give way to the productive development of other sectors of the economy.
And to help understand these diversification yearnings is the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama. He begins by sharing his strategies with the executives.
The focus, of course, is going to be on implementation, but the 4 areas are: 1, creating an enabling environment for industry, for trade, and for investment in the country. Number 2, implementing the Nigeria Industrial Revolution Plan, which is a good document, but we now need to move from plan to action. 3, we want to champion the cause of SMEs because we know it is a means of creating jobs and achieving inclusive growth. And then finally, we want to be proactive in attracting both local and foreign investment.
This was followed by concerns from the audience.
But this vision, sir, with all due respect, will not happen if the other government organs are not working in tandem with you. You cannot create an enabling environment with an artificial exchange rate.
Direct staff, we have about 400, and indirect, we have about 2,000. We are considering closing down. We have a biting problem, and we need to intervene.
And here's the minister's response.
And one of the things we are grappling with is how to increase supply of foreign exchange. And I think you made the point that we must make sure that the diaspora funds, which is part of the supply, doesn't dry up. So all those things we're looking at, and all I can say is that I expect to see us create avenues for that supply.
The forum was concluded with positive reactions.
Implementation is very key. It's easy to throw around ideas, but there have to be practical steps to implement those ideas, and very quickly.
In the last 24 months, Nigerian businesses have gone through extreme pressures in reaction to weak oil prices and a depressed naira, as public office holders and business leaders continue to explore options for a way out of the strong economic headwinds.
The central bank has been advised to reduce the significance of the parallel market traders in order to ensure the true rate of Nigeria's foreign exchange. This is the view of the chief executive, FMDQ OTC Exchange, Mr. Bola Onodele. He is concerned about the current rates at the parallel window. Mr. Onodele believes there's need to adjust the rates through tactful monetary measures. The federal government sold 142.43 billion worth of 3-month to 1-year treasury bills at lower yields on Wednesday. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria shows that 32.43 billion naira was raised in 3-month paper at 4.85%, down from 4.95% at the last auction. The Apex Bank sold 30 billion naira of 6-month debt at 7.3%, while it sold 80 billion naira of 1-year paper at 8.98%. Total subscription rose to 5.13, that's 513.71 billion naira from 400.82 billion naira at the previous auction. The Nigerian stock market returns to winning ways after 2 bearish trading sessions. The market's capitalization now stands at 8.34 trillion naira. Bisi Adebayo tells us more.
And welcome to the stock market reports. The Nigerian equities market returned positive after 2 bearish sessions, with the key broad index appreciating by almost 1% to 24,261.69. Market capitalization also closed higher at 8.34 trillion naira. Market breadth was negative though, as 23 losers outweighed 18 gainers. Seplat led the day's price gainers, closing at 288 naira 8 kobo. It's followed by Total at 145 naira and Nigerian Breweries, which ended the session at 99 naira 30 kobo. Mobil, Dangote Sugar and Portland Paints were the day's top 3 price losers. Major contributors to market volume include Zenith Bank, UBA and Access Bank. In all, investors exchanged 119.33 million shares valued at 959.77 billion naira in 2,464 deals. That's a wrap on the stock market reports. I am Bisi Adebayo.
Thanks a lot, Bisi. Some other major markets around the world have also closed trading for the day. Now let's check out the closing figures. And that's business news this hour. The news at 10 continues in a moment. I'm Adeshewa Josh.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's Segun Toriola and Ofyong Edem qualify for the table tennis event of the 2016 Rio Olympic Games. That will be on sports. To join us again.